Broadcasting from the confines of an abandoned radio station in the secluded apartment building of high strangeness on the foothills of the Colorado Rockies, it's time for full disclosure of the topics they told us were off limits. Hello there, I'm Connie Willis. This is Coast to Coast AM. Tonight, TV's $1 billion man. So, time to turn off those lights. Join me for another interesting evening of conversation, much needed education, and the chance that we might get a little closer to the truth of what lurks amongst us and what is beyond. I'm Connie Willis, and this is Coast to Coast AM. Hello there. You are listening to Coast AM. Connie Willis here. How are you? Seems like it's been a while, but it was just last week, actually. And I can't believe it's Friday. It keeps feeling like it's Saturday. I think I do enough Saturdays on here, so I'm totally messed up when it comes to time. And I'm hearing a little raspiness in my voice. Now, I know in radio, a lot of people love that, but it's when you're the person, you're kind of like, uh-oh, what's going on? Don't feel bad. Just got a little raspiness. Just think it's being tired. I actually do believe that's what it is. Just working hard, doing a lot of stuff. And I hope that you guys join me where I am doing all that work. And that's at conniewillis.com with all the different shows that I have, which is Blue Rock Talk, which is live streaming shows. In fact, we just did Robert Treat, the Deathbed Confession live show, 2 in a row, where you could actually meet him, talk with him, and see him. And, he even took off the sunglasses and told some things he wasn't even sure he was going to tell. Boom. So he told some secrets, and it was a pretty interesting show. Learned a whole lot of things and more to come. You can still go and catch that show archived if you'd like. And you'll be surprised at some of that stuff. That's at conniewillis.com under Blue Rock Talk. You can also check out Connie After Dark. That's my live virtual bar. You can have a drink with me, and those donations go to Blue Rock Talk for joining the show. Milk to martinis. It doesn't matter what you have. And then also Connie Willis, the podcast. Check that out. Phase 2 of Robert Treat's going to be coming up, as well as a whole lot of other things, talking to June Lundgren, talking with James Gilliland, a whole lot of people on the way there. Thank you so much for supporting my podcast. It's absolutely amazing. It's just leaps and bounds, and I really appreciate that. That, of course, is free. Go to your favorite directory service for podcast, and there you go. It's called Connie Willis, the podcast. Go figure. That was a pretty easy one for you to remember that way. But if you forget at any time, go to conniewillis.com and you can find all my information. All right. So one of the things I wanted to make sure I did too is today, happy birthday to Pam. Would have been a year older today. Passed away. Just wanted to make sure she was recognized. Big Coast to Coast fan. Would have been happy birthday. Happy birthday. We all know here at Coast to Coast, we keep going. So thumbs up on that one. All right. So the guest tonight, we have open lines later. We're going to steal our guest tonight to be there on the first hour for sure of the open lines. And the guest tonight, even he asked me, he said, how can I be on this show? Well, and he's not spooky. He's not creepy. He's not scary in any way, but he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. Happy to call him a friend and colleague. I never actually got to work on the air with him. If I did, I don't remember. And I think I would have remembered that. I think maybe just seeing him in the studios and in the hallways or something like that. But I don't think I ever got to, I know I didn't get to work on a product with him at all, but I know that sometimes, we will just jump on each other's shows from time to time. And he would have certainly been allowed to have jumped on one of mine. I probably would not have jumped on one of his. I wouldn't do that to him, but he could have jumped on mine at any time. His name is Bob Circosta. And sometimes, and I don't know why this is, but it's just something that got into my head. But sometimes I always say Bob Costas, and it's like, no, that's the sports guy. No. And then I would mix up his name. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that would happen. Anyway, he is the very, very beginning of things that you see as you scroll through the television, as you click with your, as you get the clicker and you just click, 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 you're going to see a lot of shopping channels, right? Well, the person to blame would be him if that's what you want to do. But you've probably bought something off of one of the shows, right? Well, it all started with Bob. And Bob started in radio. Is that not cool? So very phenomenal. He's one of us. He's one of me. And he has just gone down in history as television's billion-dollar man. And so many other things. Oh my gosh. So he's the original home shopping host. He helped create the multi-billion-dollar TV home shopping industry. I can't believe it's not trillions yet. He sold the first product ever offered. So over the past 44 years, I'm going to say all his stuff so he won't have anything to say. He's logged over 25,000 hours of live selling on TV. He's made over 75,000 separate product presentations. Oh my goodness. I can't even touch that. He has individually sold over $6 billion, and he can't be called the $6 billion man. That's already been taken. So that's where he's got the television's billion-dollar man. He is always sought after to sell their product. If somebody's got a product, they want Bob first. So he gets to kind of pick and choose, kind of, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of categorized now, but besides him being on the air all the time, you can still see him on Home Shopping Network. He shares his sales training program. He's got a class you can take, sales training program. I still say class or course, just online, just doing my own online stuff. It's called Master Your Message. He goes and does this all over the world. Also has this online class. So we're going to learn more about him. Also, Life's a Pitch, his book. All these things you can go and check out yourself. In fact, definitely do that. Go to his website, because he's got the class for Coast fans only for like over 75% off. It's a $397 class. He's got it for $97. Do it. Because, in this world of online business and where you can take courses and classes, there's all these people that teach how to sell or how to master your message. And I, they might be 24 and they're teaching me this is how you do it. So if you really want somebody that knows how to do it, here's the guy. Here's the guy, television's billion-dollar man. If that's what you're looking to do, sell some sort of message, he's the guy. Get it at $97. Anyway, I find myself pitching my buddy here. I can't believe it. But just go to, you can go to coasttocoastam.com. We've got that mentioned in the beginning. And we also, you can also go to bobcircosta.com and learn more about him. And let me spell that for you. BOBCIRCOSTA. So I'm pitching my man. I can't believe it. So Bob Circosta, welcome, first-time guest, phenomenal man in TV history. Welcome to Coast AM.
My goodness, what an introduction. That was incredible. Connie, my dear friend, it is so nice to be with you. I really appreciate the invite, and I'm happy to be here. This is going to be a great couple of hours, no doubt about it.
It is so fun to talk with you and then catch up with you, because it's been a long time since I've seen you in the hallway, because that's what I would normally do. You kind of come in, you do your thing, and you take off, and it's fun to have seen you once in a while running around. And but man, you're on all the time. You haven't stopped, and you're the first guy, and you're still here. And that's you guys. He did say, what can you use me for? I'm like, you're phenomenal. You are the guy. Does it feel like you're a phenomenal guy? Does it feel like you've been doing this forever?
No, not at all. I enjoy it more today than I did over 40 years ago. I enjoy it every day. And so as far as being phenomenal, I appreciate that very, very much. But I don't think of myself as that whatsoever. I'm just a guy who's, helping people enhance their lives through various products.
Yeah, what are you doing now? You're actually doing well and fitness kind of things, right?
Yeah, wellness products, really the category that I'm focused on right now. As we all get older, Connie,
No,
you'll realize
not you.
one day. You'll realize it one day, not yet. But as we all, go up that ladder of age, wellness becomes even more important. And so I've kind of gravitated towards that now, which I find fascinating because, what they've created, the technology that's out there nowadays.
Yes, it's amazing.
Speaking of phenomenal, I mean, the technology is really something, and it gets better and better. So I love doing those types of products.
You are the Dick Clark of Home Shopping Network host.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. Well, I have a good makeup person. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's important.
Of course, that and lighting.
And a good lighting guy. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the trick, man. That is the trick.
Of course, when I started, like you said, it was on the radio, and many people are surprised to find out that what we all now know is like TV shopping, and it's in every country all over the world now. In every country.
Unbelievable.
But it started on radio, on a news talk formatted radio station in Clearwater, Florida, in 1977 is when it actually started. And
now,
I
Bob,
was doing a talk show, not as good as yours, but I was doing a talk show.
No.
No, but there was a major difference between your show and my show.
Yeah,
nobody listened to my show.
No, so before you tell the story, I want to throw out. I got to tell you what I was told. Okay, I got to tell you first how I was told how it happened, and then you tell me where it's wrong. Okay, all right. Okay, okay. Because you got to tell the story. You're the guy. It's your perspective, but you'll like this because the perspective I got that I want to tell you was because I was living on Longboat Key around this time, which is not far from St. Pete and Clearwater, where all this happened. And so I had moved, I don't remember where I was at the time. I moved around a lot. As you know, with radio, you'll do that, and TV, you'll do that. But I was coming to Florida, or I went to Florida because it was the second Hollywood. It was touted as the second Hollywood. You don't have to go to New York, you don't have to go to Hollywood. You don't have to go to even New York, but the second Hollywood is in Orlando, Florida. So go there. So anyway, I was in Florida, even though I was living on Longboat at the time, but I was in that area to do this TV work. And I'm like, what TV work is happening here? It's not like they really said. And then someone told me about this where you can sell products, and what you needed to do in order to sell these products. It was just this new TV thing coming. And I'm like, okay. Well, what do I do? And no agents really knew about it or anything. It was more of a local thing at the time, at least word of mouth of auditioning for it. And I ended up calling the number. I think it was called the Florida Blue Sheet that had all the information on it back then. And I, as a little actor or a little TV or radio person, you're checking out auditions all the time, right? And there was a phone number to call, and somebody happened to pick it up, and they told me his name was Bud Paxson. And I said, well, I'm trying to audition. And I heard about this, you got to audition for a show, you sell products or something like that. And he had said, oh, yeah, it's so funny. What's your background? And I told him, TV and radio. And he laughed, and he said, it's so funny because I'm looking for salespeople from department stores and salespeople in the industry of Sears and JCPenney and things like that. And he said, I keep getting these, you talent people, you people from radio and TV that want to be on this. And that's what he said. And he said, I said, so what do I do? I mean, he talked for a long time with me. And he said, well, just put together a video and sell something like a widget. And I had no clue what that was. And he said, just make something up up, sell it to me, and if I like it, then I'll bring you on. I don't guess at the time, I don't know that I don't remember. Anyway, I got on at one point, but I don't know if it was the video I sent to him, but it was Bud. That was Bud that I was talking to. And he said, do you know how this got together? And he told me this on the phone call. I think people would have loved to have talked to him, because you guys, this is the guy with PAX TV. This is a guy that, this is a huge dude. And he goes, well, Connie, this is what happened. He said, I had a radio station, or I did have a radio station. I'm going to mess it up, Bob. I'm going to mess it up a little bit. But he said,
you're doing great.
Because I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember totally everything, but he said, I had this radio station and somebody couldn't pay their bill. And so they said they had a garage full of can openers. And he said, so I took the garage full of can openers, and then I had my news guy see if he could sell it when he was on the air next. I don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was news or weather. And that person happened to be you. And he said, and I told him to mention these can openers, and they started selling. He started selling them. And then he had to deliver them door to door. And so that's how I heard how it all started, because he said, then what if I put a camera to it? So tell me, how close was I to that?
You're very, very, very close. First of all, let me just say, the gentleman that you met with, Bud Paxson, an incredible, incredible individual. And he was my mentor. He was my mentor.
I bet.
And it did start on a very small radio station. And it was a lowly rated station, I might add. It was called, let me think, it was called WWQT, 1470 on your AM dial. And we did talk shows, we did news programs, and one day, every hour of my talk show, I'd take like a little break, a little news break, and I'd sit in this little booth and have a cup of coffee or what have you. And one day, true story, the door of the booth opened up, and in walked Bud. And Bud, as you'll recall, was like 6'7". So when he came in a room, you knew he was in that room. And he was holding in his hands this electric can opener. You're right. And now keep in mind, this was 1977, so this was an avocado green,
whoa,
ugly electric can opener. And he's holding this in his hands, and he looked at me. Now, I was a newsman. I had nothing to do with selling products. He looked at me and he said, Bob, when you come out of the news, I want you to sell this can opener. And that was my reaction. I mean, I was laughing, and I looked at him like he had three heads. I said, you want me to do what? And he said, I want you to sell. I said, I remember saying, you want me to sell? Wait a minute. I'm a newsman. I have morals and ethics, and I don't want to sell something.
Back then, there was morals and values to news.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, 1977. I said, I don't want to sell anything. And then he explained to me the relationship between me selling that can opener and me getting a check. And instantly, that can opener looked pretty darn good. And so I did. I remember like it was yesterday, Connie. I came out of the news, and I said, we'll get back to our topic in just a moment. And I recounted the story. Bud told me, like you said, there was a local appliance store. They didn't pay their advertising bill, and instead of paying for cash for the advertising, they gave Bud a box of can openers. He had no idea what he was going to do, but he came back to the station. So now here I am on the air, saying we'll get back to our topic in just a moment. I recounted that whole story, how it came about, and I started describing the can opener. And I said it was $9.95. It was from the Rival Corporation. And I remember saying, if you call me up right now, call me up and reserve a can opener, come on down to the studio and pay for it, it's yours.
Now, hold that thought, Bob. Hold that thought. I hate to do a cliffhanger like this, but we got to go. We got to break. So you remember right where you are. We will come back, and we will hear the rest of that. Oh, my goodness. It just makes me laugh over here because of just being in radio, myself and him. It's just funny stuff here. So we Bob Circosta is with us, going to come back and give us the cliffhanger. Hold on, everybody. We'll get the rest of this story of how it all started and where you watch home shopping networks all the time now, or at least pass by them for sure. I love them. More to come here. You are listening to Coast AM. I'm Connie Willis. Stay with us. Welcome back to Coast AM. Connie Willis here with you, along with first-time guest Bob Circosta, TV's original home shopping host, speaker, author, one of the individuals who helped create the multi-billion-dollar TV home shopping industry. You can learn more about him, his book, his course, his classes, and he's taking care of Coast fans with taking $300 off of his course and letting you watch it and learn from it for $97. I love it. You can go to his website at bobcircosta.com and you'll see where you can click on it for Coast fans only. But it's funny. I love it. I'm pitching for Bob Circosta here. Anyway, so Bob is telling us the story of how it all happened. And now I'm going to let you go ahead, Bob, and set up where the cliffhanger ended. And, you know, we have come back and we're ready to hear the rest of it from you.
Okay. First of all, you were nice enough to mention the website. I appreciate that. My audiobook just came out today, like
That's
hours
right.
ago. So your audience, the very first to hear about my book on audio, and that's available, on the website as well. Okay, so all right, here we are. The year is 1977. Okay, I'm a host on a lowly rated local radio station in Clearwater, Florida, possibly the world's worst radio station. And here I am, and the owner during the break, brings in a can opener and says to me, when you come out of the news, I want you to sell the can opener. And I looked at him like, what? I mean, there's no way. So I came on after the news, and I said, you'll never believe what happened during the break. And I went over and I explained, retold the story, and I said, if you call me up right now, reserve a can opener, come on down to the studio and pay for it. It's yours. And pretty soon the lights on the phone started to light up. In fact, I didn't know what those lights were because nobody had ever called me before on the show. And that day, Connie, that was August 28th, 1977, we sold 113 electric can openers, and that was the beginning of what we all now know as home shopping. And,
oh, my.
We stayed on radio. We did it on radio for 5 years, and it became locally, it was still local, but it became very successful. And then we went to a local cable TV. At that time, in 1982, I think it was, at that time, there were all these cable TV stations with no programming. There wasn't a lot of programming out there, so they had a lot of these vacant channel spots. And so we went in and we leased a channel on the local cable company. It was called Vision Cable, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
and so we went from radio to TV. We thought, wow, now people will be able to see what we're talking about. It's got to be better, right? And so we did that until 1985, and then we went nationwide, coast to coast. Now,
yeah, I do
not
know.
To steal your name whatsoever. I mean, we didn't call it coast to coast, but we went, nationwide with the broadcast, and I guess, as they say, the rest is history. However, that first day that we were nationwide, after a very successful local business, I'll give everybody a piece of trivia. If you ever go on Jeopardy, or if you're ever in a trivia contest, this might come in handy. The first day of home shopping nationwide, total sales for 5 hours on the air, total sales, $352.
No way.
Yeah. 300. We were in shock because here we are locally, really generating hundreds of thousands of dollars a week just locally. Now we're nationwide, 300. But what you have to understand is that at that time, 1985, people were not used to shopping this way. Mm-hmm. And they saw me come on the air and say, if you call up right now, we'll send you. They thought, what's the catch? What's the gimmick? And then it grew. the amazing part, Connie, of that story, and it's true, is that within 90 days of that day that we did $352, we did $1 million in one day.
Whoa!
Within 90 days. Within 90 days.
What happened?
Well, I'm asked that quite often, and the answer to that question in my mind is that we were able to develop a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they would see us every single day. Again, they were not used to shopping this way, but when they saw us every single day, and then when they started to receive some products, they would call in and give testimonials about the product, so they knew the quality was there. It was safe to order that way, and it just grew and grew and grew until we did $1 million a day. So when you say that home shopping was truly a phenomenon, there's no doubt about it. And it really did two things. It certainly changed the way America shops.
Yeah.
That habit, totally. But it also did something else. It also changed the way that people market merchandise and people sell merchandise. And over the years, I've been able to, to this day, I bet I receive 150 to 200 requests every week with people with ideas for products and people who have developed products, and they've been shown how to market it within the TV shopping industry, and they have done extremely well. I don't know if any of your listeners have ideas for products, or maybe they've developed products, but you never know. I was golfing with a friend of mine this afternoon who was a host for, in fact, Tom Wise. Do you remember Tom Wise?
Yes, I remember Tom.
I know. I told him I was
Please
going to
tell
be
him
with
hello.
you tonight, and he said, "Tell Connie I said hello."
Oh, good. He remembered me, too. Oh, tell him I
yes,
said hey.
without question.
Wow.
But anyhow, so Tom was a host for a long period of time. Then he got into developing. He came up with an idea, and he developed a product, and now he's doing extremely well. So, people have to keep that in mind, that this is a great, great venue, to come up with an idea, a product and everything. They can do extremely well. But I talk about that in my book or the audio part of the book, what works and what people are looking for and what the trends are and things of that, ilk. So, but that's how it started. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. So I got so many questions about it because, come on, there's just so many questions to this. First of all, remember, where did this fit in? Remember like swap TV and auctions on TV where they would actually be on the blackboard and chalk?
Yeah, where the guy used to spin around on the auction. He used to say, he would go through the auctioneer type presentation, and then he would spin around everything. It's interesting to bring that up because we went nationwide in 1985, and we were the only one at that time. QVC came on in 1986, but during the 80s, there were 28 other companies trying to do the same thing. And that one of the keys to succeeding is to have distribution. It's like any business.
Right. Anybody
who's in business, you got to have two key elements that I've always identified as D and P. D and P. D is distribution. In other words, you got to be in front of the right people with whatever it is you have, and then you have to have the P, which is the presentation, the pitch, the message. Those two things have to be correct in order to succeed. So all these other companies that were trying to do the same thing, they didn't have the distribution because we did. And that's what made all the difference. Right. But the auction show was one of those shows that came on during
I remember just when I remember my parents always watching this. It was local. It was like the public stations would hold these auctions or swaps, whatever, right? And it would be on the chalkboard, and they were literally swapping and stuff. That was, and it was fun. It was live. It was fun to watch. It was exciting, and look what all this stuff turns into. That's just amazing stuff. So this is something I remember, it's amazing to be a part of that phenomenon. You started it. I got to be a part of it, working at HSN, working at QVC, working in infomercials, and being a part of all of that.
And I
Now,
might add, you did a phenomenal job yourself. I mean, you were
oh,
always so very, very good and well liked.
well, that's sweet of you.
That's the truth.
I won't stop you. Keep going. No, I'm just kidding. But I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. It really
Well,
does. I thank you for that.
I mean it.
Uh, I remember the very beginning. It was more of brand new product ideas that normal, regular people had,
Mm-hmm.
and they would go on and we would pitch them and have a great time doing all of that kind of thing. Especially, I loved that new inventors would come in with things. But then, and by the way, people would sometimes laugh at, like, oh, they would think it was not something special and low class. And those people still need to have, they need to wake up to the world, because all of a sudden, all the brand names learned how much money was being made, and every brand name wanted to come in on the network. I mean, I know people would even laugh with Suzanne Summers doing the Thigh Master. Are you kidding? She laughed all the way to the bank herself, right?
Yes,
You know what I'm
Suzanne was
talking
on for
about?
many, many years. Many, many
She
years.
had her own studio.
You're so right. I mean, because some of the brand names, they were having some challenges in brick and mortar, and they saw this thing called TV shopping, and they wondered what it was. And that's how I really started my training program that I had at that time, to teach people how to present their product effectively on camera. And so I mean and today, Connie, it's really still a mix. It's a mix of brand names, but still entrepreneurial, still.
Good.
The inventor.
It's important. That's
And
important.
I guarantee there are people listening right now that if they don't have a product, I guarantee they have an idea that would work and could change their lives. I guarantee it. I mean, I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
I just love it, because you sound like just when you're on the air. So you guys, this is him. This is Bob naturally. He just gets excited and passionate, and and he is the model of everybody else along the way. Uh, uh, so yeah, I just I love when people come in with the brand new types of things, and then they become this, multi-billionaire or whatever they come, they just start doing well. What did Tom Wise come up with? What was his product?
He has designed a product called the Carry Cart. The Carry Cart is this cart that does about 90 different things. It folds. It does everything into different designs, different shapes that you can transport things. And it's so demonstrable. And it's so. I have a whole program. I have like 8 questions. When I look at a new product, and I want to make sure it's answering yes to those questions in order to qualify. And when I evaluate products or ideas for people, I go through the whole gamut. I mean, I can kind of tell after this many years, what needs to be done. But anyhow, so Tom came up with this, and he calls it the Carry Cart, and that's with a K, Carry Cart. And it has done extremely well on the air. I'm so happy for him too.
Good for him. It was when I was first there, he was the one, if I remember correctly, he was the first person to start pitching the Roomba.
Yeah, the automatic cleaner. Yeah,
the vacuum cleaner that run around. Yeah, we were seeing it first, and now it's all over the place.
Well, it's a great vacuum. It's a great product. It scares me a little bit sometimes because I have one, and when it starts running, it almost looks like it's alive. But it does a great job. Great job.
Well, there's lots of videos out there, little viral videos with cats on top of them, riding them around, everything,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I've seen lots of products over the years. You can imagine, And not to go back to the book again, but in the book, I really tell the stories. How it all started. And I'm able to go deeper into stories about celebrities and just the little nuances and things that have worked over the years. So
you got a chapter of me in there, right? There's a little chapter of me and you in there.
Oh, we have pictures.
Oh, okay. That'll be in the second book.
There you go. That's right.
Now, you called the book Life's a Pitch, and I got to say that I remember years ago somebody that used to say that all the time. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Maybe Billy?
Billy Mays.
Yeah, Billy Mays, yeah.
What was your relationship with Billy?
Oh, Billy was a good friend. Good guy.
He's a good guy. He was a good guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent.
He was a good guy.
And just, I was so happy to call him my friend, and was very close to Billy, and it was so sad when he passed. But just a super guy and a hard worker. I mean, everybody would see him on camera and think, well, he just talks. Oh no, he works so hard, and he was just a great guy. But life is a pitch, and that's basically what it is. This thing about selling, and every day we all sell something to somebody at some time, and people get hung up on that word sell because it has a connotation of getting somebody to do something that they don't want to do, and that's not what selling is. Selling is helping. I tell people, because people come to me all the time and say, well, how can I sell more of what I have? And my answer is always, if you want to sell more, stop selling and start helping others with what you have. But selling, it weaves through the fabric of our everyday lives, because it could just be an idea or a feeling or a thought that you have, and you're trying to convince the other person because you really believe in what you're saying. That's selling. So you can't get hung up on that word. Because that's the secret about me. The secret about me is I hate to sell. I despise selling. And people say, well, how could that be? I mean, you've generated over $6 billion in merchandise sales over all these years, and now you hate to sell? And I do. I despise it. It's all about helping. It's all about knowing what to say, how to say, when to say it. And it's not just about products. It could be a service that you offer. It could be an opportunity that you want to share. It could be an idea. It could be a belief that you have that others aren't agreeing with you. And there is a way that you can, convince them, not against their will, but to benefit them. And it's really something that I've devoted my life to, because if you know how to, and I use the word sell because I just haven't come up with another word for it in all these years. However, in Sweden, Connie, the word säljig is the word for selling, but it means to serve.
To serve.
That's
to
what it
serve.
Means. So it's
Bob
all about
Circosta.
Yeah.
It is Bob Circosta we're talking with. You can find him at bobcircosta.com. You've seen him. You've heard him. He was the original TV host and started it all. You can be mad at him or happy with him. But you can find out more at bobcircosta.com. And he's just a wonderful guy. More to come. Stay with us. Open lines later, too. Connie Willis here on Coast to Coast AM. Connie Willis here. See, I'm losing my voice. Oh no. I know I just need some rest. I need rest and relaxation. I've just been so busy and so swamped. I know that's all it is. It's not a cold. We radio folk, we know this, and TV folk, we learn this. I mean, first of all, we still have to work even when we're sick. I mean, we were made to. It's just the way it is. But I know it's just needing some rest and relaxation. That's all it is, because I've been working hard at ConnieWillis.com with all the different shows that I have, just trying to pump things out and get them going. And it's fun. Blue Rock Talk, Connie After Dark. Thank you all for supporting that. It's fun. We got a great Blue Rocker community. They're the best. And also my podcast. Oh my goodness, you guys. You've truly supported me on this. It's easier to support somebody when it's free, that's for sure. But it is free, and it's just like boom. It's just thank you so much for supporting it, Connie Willis, the podcast. Maybe just because it's easy to, you got that name. It's easy to find. Please, by the way, try it on the Spreaker platform, because that's the one I realize I can do it live, just like a radio show. So I'm going to start doing that. Now, I don't know if you're on the other formats, if you don't get it until it's later archived shortly afterwards. But if you catch it on Spreaker, then you're going to, where my platform, comes from. It's like radio live, and it's got a live chat. So jump on board at Spreaker if you want to know how to get to that, if you aren't sure, because I'd love for you to be there when I do live stuff. I love it. It's just like radio. I love it. It's so fun. And then I can pop off and on anytime I want. Just go to ConnieWillis.com. You'll find all the information there. You'll also see the face of our guest tonight. You'll see his face on there, where I'm saying, hey, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast tonight. And here's my guest, and here's what he's got for us too. He's done some neat things for us. You can find him at BobCircosta.com, BobCircosta.com, the guy who started it all, TV's original home shopping host, speaker, author, doing all sorts of things, running around and just teaching and training and not selling anything but that. Bob, thanks again for being here. I got to tell you something that you may or may not remember that happened. I just want to make sure you're there first. You're still with me?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is something I have always remembered about you, and you may or may not remember it, but when I was first at Home Shopping Network, I'm just, learning. Oh man, I went from like a Disney show and some other different types of television shows, never thinking I would sell something, but this is all brand new, and to me, and as I'm there, in fact, Tom Wise was one of the people. I would ask people, what do I didn't have an agent in that world. I later got an agent in infomercials, but I didn't have an agent. And I didn't know what to do myself price-wise. How do I charge? How do I make money from this? What's commission? Do I do a flat fee? Do I get a piece of this product? Do I host, or do I sell, do I host for the network and they pay me, or do I host for a product and come on once in a while and have a couple products? And I started asking around and learning different answers from different people. And at one point, I just stopped and I thought, well, the man to ask is the guy that's got the same background as me. My degree was telecommunications at the University of Kentucky. You also have telecommunications, Kent State, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, why don't I ask the guy? So I went to you. I was very new. And I thought, you probably don't even know me. And I asked you, what I cannot figure out the rates. Because, people don't want to tell their rates. They don't want to tell what they're making. I was just like, somebody please help me. And two people helped me. Billy was one and you were the other. And when I came up to you, you said, well, I said, what do I make? What is my pay? I have no idea what I am supposed to charge, because I didn't want to charge too much or too little. And there's not like this rate across the board with everybody. And this was in the middle of the hallway. And you took the time and you stopped and we just stood in that hallway. And you said, well, Connie, this is the first thing you said. You said, Connie, you're a little different than everybody else. And I just thought, oh no, what's he going to say? How am I different than everybody else? What's he going to say to me? And I didn't even know you had seen my work or anything. And you said, the difference with you and others is that you are selling here with the TV retail and you have products here on HSN, but you're also doing infomercials. Not everybody can do both of those. and you are able to switch from some side to side. And because of that, you should charge more. And you started telling me what I should expect, what I should look at on the infomercial side as well as the TV retail side. And it was phenomenal. And I just want to thank you again that you had done that for me. I don't know if you remember, but I can tell you that I got the numbers that you told me to get and then some. And so thank you.
Well, you're very, very welcome, and you may not believe me, but I do remember that.
You
Because,
do?
yes, because you are very unique in what you do. I mean, your talent, and there's a big difference between presenting a product in a home shopping format and one in an infomercial format. And to be able to do them both is very, very valuable. And so it was an easy question to answer because of the subject matter with you. And you're and look what you're doing. I mean, you're nationwide, coast to coast on radio. I mean, you've done extremely well, and the future is even brighter for you. So
thank you.
You're a very talented person.
Thank you. I love that George Norrie lets me come in here and play. It's so much fun. I have a great time. I love the content. And, when you had said in the hallway, when you had said you do both, and that's not an easy thing to do. Most people can't go back and forth. When you said that, I just, my thought in my head was, but that's what I always knew I wanted to do TV, radio, film, all that kind of thing. And I just thought, well, isn't that what you train for? Isn't that what you prepare for? Isn't that what you do? So to me, that was astonishing that you had said what you said, because I thought that's what you prepared for when you finally, got into it all. I mean, that's what I did. So thank you.
But what it boils down to, Connie, is it's effective communication. That's what it is. That's what selling is. And again, I don't even like saying that word. It's effective communication.
There you go.
That's what it is. And when the pandemic hit, everybody seemed to start making videos on social media. I mean, it was everywhere, right?
Yes, it was.
And you could see who could effectively communicate and those that couldn't. And that was one reason why I came up with my program, my video program, training program, is because, at the very beginning we realized in home shopping one of the keys was being able to create the right message. And then delivering it properly, we would get the results we were after. And isn't that what everybody is trying to do, get the right results? And it all goes back to being able to effectively communicate whatever it is you have. As I said before, a belief, an idea, a product, a service, well, whatever it is, it comes down to effective communication. And Connie, another thing, today, everybody who has a cell phone, and I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
But everybody who has a cell phone has their own home shopping channel in their pocket. And if they understand how to do it and how to make it work, it could be a life-changing experience to be able to make, I mean, you're holding it in your hands every day, your own home shopping channel. But you have to know how to use it. And that's why I have so much fun, teaching and sharing with people today.
Do you like doing that? Traveling around and doing that? Yeah.
I love it. It may sound corny, but I love to see other people succeed. I really do. And it's nice because I work with people one-on-one as well as the video training program, where you can download the videos and watch them as many times as you want and, as often as you want and everything. But I also work one-on-one. And when I see that light bulb go off, when people say, oh, I got it, because many, many times that little red light on your phone, when that comes on and you're recording something, people act differently. They freeze. They lock up. It happens all the time.
You are on air.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have to, and all that's coming from is a lack of confidence and a lack of clarity of direction, of knowing what to do. And once you know how to say it and what to say and when to say it, it becomes natural because it fits within your own comfort level, and it makes all the difference in the world. But I work with so many people that are on social media. I have a new video coming out, by the way. It's not out yet, but it's coming out. How to sell something in 60 seconds, and it came out of a conference I did with people that are using certain forms of social media where you only have 1 minute to present something. And
that's
so
tough. We know that's tough.
I know, yeah, it's very tough. So that video is coming out down the road. But yeah, I love it. I really do. I've just been so blessed in my life, and so many people have helped me be able to achieve whatever I've achieved, and it's just I just love it.
Well, that's one of the great things about you that makes you different is because, core, bottom line, your talent. And talent doesn't always help other talent, but you do. You're secure enough, and you want everybody to win because you realize we're all on the same team. We're all in this together.
That's right.
And that's one of the differences with you, that you do want to see other talent succeed. You're not concerned when another talent comes up to you. You're okay with that. You're just like, hey,
we're
welcome
all in this
to the
together,
club. That's right.
We're all in this together. So yeah, I mean, I love doing that. But you're asking me questions tonight that people have not asked me for years and years, and it's really taking me down memory lane. In
yeah?
a good way. Oh, yeah, loving it.
Tell me about Bud Paxson. And tell people who he is, who he went on to even be. I mean, he did amazing stuff.
Yeah, well, Bud, at the beginning, he owned various radio stations, but he owned the radio station where Home Shopping began. And Bud was a merchandiser. Bud was a marketing guy. Bud was a people person. He knew how to really communicate effectively, what we were just talking about. I mean, he could communicate, let me tell you. And, about Bud, I would watch him. He would sit in the corner. We'd be on the air together at Home Shopping. And he would be in the corner, not even on camera. And he would be sitting in the corner with his eyes closed, big smile, and talking. And I asked him, what, Bud, you're not even seen on camera when you do that. Why are you doing that? He said, because it comes across differently when you smile. And words come out differently when you smile. And he was such a master communicator. And he was my mentor. There's no way that I could have done what without him. I mean, he was my mentor. And so after Home Shopping, he left in the early 90s, and he developed PAX TV, and he bought a lot of radio stations, Clear Channel Radio. He bought a lot of those, and then I think he sold those, and then he created PAX TV, which was very popular, and it is now Ion Television. And he had deals with NBC and things like that. But he remained very, very active. He passed away a few years ago in his 80s, and I was able to go to his memorial. And just a great guy, just a great, great guy.
It was neat. I mean, I called up to, how do I get to work on this network? And he's the guy, he just like picks up the phone and
that's who he was. And Connie, I would see him over and over again, time after time, walk into a conference room, and on the big conference table, it was just loaded with various products. And he would go through every product and say, this should be at this price, this should be at this price. I want 2,000 of these, 3,000 of those, 5,000 of these, and he would be right 99.9% of the time. He was just an absolute genius, just a genius.
Do you think that he would be happy with the way everything, or was happy with the way everything has changed in the world of home shopping?
I think he would. I mean, of course, he was there at a different time, but one thing he always embraced was change, and he would certainly not fight change because he always listened to the viewers. He always listened to the audience.
You got to. You have to.
Yeah. They dictate what you're doing, and if you even get to do it.
That's right.
So I'm sure he would have changed some of his thinking if he was around today, only because the whole industry has changed, out there. So, yeah, he would always, he had a favorite saying, and the saying was, either go with the flow or you'll go out with the tide. And it was true. You have to go with the flow or you're going to go out with the tide. So you have to embrace change.
Yeah. Interesting he would say that, being in the Clearwater, St. Pete area. He was probably just looking out at the beach one night, and he came up with that.
Right. He said, whoa, that tide is coming in. Look out. Look out. Yeah, you're right. But, we were talking about entrepreneurs a little bit earlier and about people that came up with ideas and inventors, and he always had a special place in his heart for that category, for those people that were trying to make it. And
I want to ask you about that when we come back.
Many people millionaires, no question about it.
Yes, and I want to ask you about that when we come back, about all the neat things that you saw along the way and what stuck out and what did well and what didn't, and we'll talk about that when we come back. We're talking with Bob Circosta. You can find him at bobcircosta.com. That's Bob, C-I-R-O, wait a minute, C-I-R-C-O-S-T-A. Okay, let me do that again. Bob Circosta, CIRCOSTA.com, and learn more. Stay with us. We'll be talking to him, and open lines coming up later, too, here on Coast to Coast AM. Coast to Coast AM, Connie Willis here. Find me at ConnieWillis.com. All the shows, the podcast, everything, and even taking you to creepy hotspots, live investigations, Bigfoot, strange lights, hauntings. And it's real. It's real. It's all out there, and we have been a part of it. Hopefully you can too. Join me any of the shows at ConnieWillis.com. Right now, we're talking with Bob Circosta, television's billion-dollar man. I'm looking at his website, bobcircosta.com. Yes, he's got a book. Yes, he's got an audio book, just came out today, and also a course that you can take. And I'm looking at one of his pages here, says, if you want Bob to sell your product on TV, ... No one has sold products on TV shopping longer than Bob Circosta. Even great products fail when presented the wrong way. This is true. And I'm still reading it from here. These are not my words of wisdom. After 45 years on the air, over 25,000 hours of live selling, more than 75,000 separate on-air product presentations. Wow. Bob Circosta is ready. I'm losing it. I'm losing my voice, but I'll go on anyway. Apparently it gets sexy when this happens. Anyway, Bob Circosta is ready to sell your product on the air. Dun, dun, dun. So Bob, so I know, I hear a lot of stories in the infomercial world about the products of some inventor coming in, but how about you directly? How many products came to you by inventors, and sometimes right on the napkin, just written on the napkin, and sometimes fully, developed, patent, everything else, that you were like, wow, this is a winner, and it was a winner, or wow, this is a loser, but it did win, or wow, this, give me all the scenarios and what might even have been the craziest thing or the coolest thing.
Well, I mean, it runs the gamut, obviously, because you can
Absolutely.
imagine, doing 75,000 separate product presentations over the years. I've seen a little bit of everything, and I continue. I mean, to see new products. People, are always telling me about their ideas that they have for products, or they have something developed, and you would be surprised how many succeed, because once you have that message correctly, once you're able to communicate it effectively, you'll get the response that you're after. I mean, there's certain qualifications for a product. Obviously, it has to solve a problem, and thus for, it goes on and on and on. But I recall there was a gentleman, I'll never forget his name, Tony Sheridan, out of California. This was quite a few years ago. But he came to me with a product, and he had two little boys, and he loved bouncing his boys on his knee. He would, they enjoyed it, he enjoyed it, everything. So he came up with this product in the form of a head of a horse. Picture this now. And he put the head of the horse on his knee, and then his little boy got on the horse, on the knee, and he would bounce him up and down.
I love it.
And he get this now. He called it the pony. The pony. Okay, that's what he called it. And he was so passionate about it, and he went on the air and just sold incredibly well, and then licensed it all over the world. So it was a starting point.
Wow.
But he had just the idea, because every great product starts with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And most people with an idea, they keep it in their heads too long. And you got to get it out of your head right away.
Yes.
Prototypes can be ugly. You don't have to be a good artist, but you got to get that idea out of your head. So that was one item that went very, very... And I remember another time at a conference I was doing. At the end of the conference, a young lady came up to me, and she had this bag, and in the bag were all these, like, jars of cream and lotions and things of that nature. And they were all, I mean, you could see they were opened one too many times, and they had rubber bands holding them together. And she told me the story where they had came from different parts of the world, and the uniqueness of every region reflected in the cream. And it was a fascinating story, but she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to do with them. And she went on to, well, one year she had gross sales of over $38 million. And she just started with a bag of jars. I mean, it's amazing what you can do. There was another one. Every time I think about this one. Now, you got to imagine, this is in the 1980s. So this was before cell phones. Cell phones did not exist, okay? And we had a product on the air. They brought it into me to go on the air and sell it. And it was an AM/FM radio, telephone, toilet paper dispenser. True story. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, who the heck is going to buy this? Are you kidding me? And I went out. I forgot what I said. Something like, has the phone ever rung when at an inopportune time? Where you couldn't answer it, you couldn't get to it. And we ended up selling like over 5,000 of them in less than 9 minutes. And once again, it's that message. Once it connects, and once you're able to communicate it effectively, you're able to get the results that you're after. But there's a whole checklist of, when somebody brings me an idea or somebody talks to me about their product, I go right down the checklist. And that checklist is based on experience, not on theory, but it's based on real-life experience.
Were you the one? Who was it that decided that demoing a product over and over and over again in different ways is worthy? Because being able to demo is wonderful. Did you come up with that, or?
Well, I don't know if I came up with it, but I certainly did it quite often. Because when you think about it, TV is a visual medium, so you have to, you've heard about the term show and tell. This is show and sell. Okay, you got to show it. It has to come alive. It has to, mean something. You have to give it meaning. How
said the man that was selling electric can openers that were that ugly green on the radio. You actually did it on the radio. So you did it. So did you actually go door to door and knock on the doors to hand it to them at one point? That's
what I would do in the early days when we were on the radio only. If the person who ordered the product, if they lived on my way home, I would take the product to their house.
I love it.
And many times I would stay for dinner. I mean, you talk about relationship marketing. I mean, that's
we listen to you all the time. We love
yeah.
you.
Oh,
Stay
it's
for dinner.
great.
I
I
know
love it.
that one.
I
I love
and
it.
I tell you, the viewers, like your listeners. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love
The
it.
viewers are just so loyal
Yes.
and so wonderful and
Yes.
so caring and so
Yes.
real. It's just a great experience. Oh, one day I'm telling we take live phone calls. And we
Yeah.
used to take a lot of live phone calls. And I remember taking one call one day, and and I said, "Hi, you're on the air with Bob, and your first name is?" And she said, "My name is Mary from Chicago." I said, "Great, Mary. How you doing?" She said, "Well, I'm in labor right now." And I said, "Wait, you mean labor like baby labor?" And she said, "Yes. My mom is here with me, and I had been through Lamaze, coincidentally, with my wife at the time." And so I said, "How far apart are the pains?" And she told me like 6-7 minutes, something like that. And I started giving her breathing exercises. And this is all true now, Connie, on the air, live, nationwide.
Wow.
I'm giving her, and pretty soon this foreign voice came on the phone and said, "Gotta go," and hung up. That was it. And we were inundated the rest of the day saying, "What happened to Mary? What happened?" And the next day, her mom called in and said that she had given birth to a healthy baby boy. And the kicker, true story, she named the boy Robert, Bob.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I still talk to her all the time, So these are relationships that go on forever and ever, And that's what makes life wonderful.
It's fun. It's what a lot of people don't know is it's live. It's all live. It's live. When you have like 200 units of a product that you got to sell, you're on live. You hope that you sell out before the 8 minutes you're given. And that's always like, yay, woohoo, we got the finish line. So every time you're on the air with a product, there's like a finish line, there's competition. You're wanting to sell this, because it's kind of your own. It's your own like victory that I did it. I sold all that I needed to. So in these live times, because anything can happen. What do you remember that was? I remember seeing one time like all the lights fall behind the directors on the floor, like one hit another, like dominoes, and fell while we were live. Have you had something happen like that, or something failed?
I would have lights overhead. They wouldn't fall, but they would burn out. They would explode. And you talk about jumping. I mean, before that happened, I was 6'7", and I'm not that tall anymore. I mean, it really gets to you. They would right in the middle of the show, no, you didn't know it was coming, and they would explode. And so you would look around, wonder what was going on. I had products that maybe they didn't work at that particular moment. That didn't mean they were a bad product, but at that second they didn't work. I had this tabletop washing machine. You fill it up with water, you put the detergent in there, and then you seal it up, and you turn it.
Yeah.
You just rotate it back and forth. Great product. Well, one night I did it, and I didn't have the lid on correctly. And as I turned it, all the water came out all over the place. And the person I was on with was absolutely drenched. And so things always, but you know what? That's what makes it fun. And the worst thing you can do is say, "Oh, try to hide it." No.
Yeah, don't hide it.
No,
yeah, don't hide it.
It's real life. It's
Yeah.
real life. I mean, we really were at the beginning. We really were the beginning of interactive TV and interaction in the media. We were the beginning of that. We didn't realize it, but we were in the beginning of it.
And it's just grown so much. How did QVC come about?
QVC was started by a gentleman by the name of Joseph Siegel. And Joe, great guy. In fact, he passed away a few years ago, and I spoke at his memorial right before the pandemic, and I was honored to speak at his memorial. But Joe created also the Franklin Mint, and he created QVC. And I remember Joe came down to Florida before QVC launched, and he met with Bud. And Bud's one of Bud's partners, Roy, and myself, and I think there were two other people, and he wanted to know about this thing called home shopping, what it was and what made it work, and because it was all new. It was all new back then. And so we had a great, and I kept in touch with him over the years, and that QVC came out in 1986. HSN went nationwide in 1985, and QVC came on the year later in 1986. And they were two totally different formats. HSN was all urgency. It was all buy it now. When the item left the screen, you could not place an order for it. So you had to order it while it was still on the screen. And QVC came on completely opposite. They gave you an item number that you could order whenever you wanted to. So it was a completely different format. In fact, QVC stands for quality, value, and convenience. So they really focused on the convenience part of it. We never showed item numbers. We never did any of that at the beginning. Now it's done that way. As a matter of fact, one company owns both QVC and HSN right now. But QVC came on a year after we did nationwide.
Wow. I mean, but it's still all derived from you guys.
And HSN started it, and we were on radio in 77 and local cable TV in Clearwater, Florida in 82, and then 85 we went nationwide. Yeah.
And I've been on both. It's amazing. It's amazing. I remember, I don't want to tell too many secrets, but when I was at QVC I don't think I heard this at HSN. I think it was at QVC. It's not, do you want to buy it or not? It's which color do you want? And you just hop right on over if you want to buy it or not. It's, because it's all about, making those products go. And, it is fun to be on the air with something and you're given 8 minutes. Okay, well, let's see if I can't sell this out in 6, I can sell this out in 6 minutes, and just have that contest with yourself. It's just fun, but it can be absolutely crazy. You can be on that special for the day, and you are working a lot of hours. Now,
I did that 2 weeks ago. I had
what did you
special.
Did you have like this massager thing on your body?
And there are lots of them out there. The one I do is a little different technology-wise, but it's one of those that wrap around your legs, and they have compression and heat and massage. And let me just tell you, they feel terrific. They
nice
too. It feels great. But anyhow, so I had that on, and when you talk about the hours, in a 24-hour day, I did 10 live shows that were 30 minutes each. Did 10 of those in 24 hours. And then they had a tape that they played for 6 hours. So it was 16 hours out of the 24. And it was so much fun. I mean, I told you before at the beginning, I enjoy this more now than I ever have.
It's fun.
I really do. I really do.
I miss it. I understand. I get it. It's just, this like rush the whole time. And anyway, I'm glad you're still doing it. I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're here. So you got to talk to a lot of people. I hope you add me to this list of these people that you say you've helped along the way. Bob Hope, tell me what you did with Bob Hope. I didn't know you did anything with him.
Yeah, he came on. There was a channel out in California that he was on for a little bit. He just came to me for training.
Oh.
And, he came to me for some training.
Cool.
And then he went on another channel. J.C. Penney had started a shopping channel. The problem was nobody was watching. So it's tough to do because it goes back to distribution once again. And this was, at the very, very beginning. But they were one of the 28 companies that tried to do this. And so he was selling a book. He was selling a book. And once again, it doesn't matter what it is, a product, a service, an idea, a book, a belief, it's selling. That's what it is.
It's the message.
He was a joy to work. He was a classy guy.
So are you. Bob Circosta is who we're talking with. We've got open lines coming up next. Bob, you're going to stick around for an hour? Talk to people?
If you want me to, I'm more than happy to. I'd love to talk to some viewers. I'm telling you, there are ideas out there for products that have never been done before. I guarantee it.
Don't go away. Stay with us. More to come here. Connie Willis, Bob Circosta, Open Lines, Coast to Coast AM. Connie Willis, just like the man said, and Open Lines happening starting now. And Bob Circosta, our guest for tonight, is sticking around. So if you have a question for him, now is the time to give us a call. Open Lines here on Coast to Coast AM. With stations all over the U.S., North America, Puerto Rico, Guam, and by satellite, we are Coast to Coast AM all over the place. Connie Willis here, your host for tonight. And please catch me at my other personal shows, Blue Rock Talk, Connie After Dark, Connie Willis, the podcast. You can find them all at ConnieWillis.com. If it's too much for you to go, no, that's too much, just go to ConnieWillis.com. You'll see everything you need to see there. And whatever I update, that's where it's all going to be. I am so thankful that you guys have supported me so much. Thank you. And man, you guys write some really nice emails to me. It's so, so kind. I can't say enough. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to say after tonight's show with Bob Circosta. Known him for a long time, and so have you guys. I've just been lucky enough to talk with him, get information from him, laugh with him. He's just a funny guy, as you can imagine, but he's determined, passionate, and when that camera gets on him, well, basically, he's still the same guy. I mean, that's how he acts off camera. Same personality. That's what you want. That's the kind of people you want. And those are the people that you trust when it does come to buying products just like that. You just got to do just like this. And I wouldn't have believed it, but when I was at the University of Kentucky, and my thing was I wanted to do film and television. That was it, just those two things. And my performance teacher or professor had said, all right, write your three top things that you want to do. And I just had two. And he goes, well, why don't you add radio to that one? I'm like, no, I don't want to do radio. I don't want to do radio. He's like, you do radio. That'll be your best foundation. And you know what? It's absolutely 1000% true. I didn't believe it back then, but I absolutely know it and I am sure, Bob, you can cut in because we got the mic turned on for you right now, but it's absolutely the best foundation. Anybody that's even wanting to get into this field of any type of communication, because the thing about radio and TV too, and what was great is my entire career in all this has been live TV, live radio. It's that liveness when you first get in. I know it's tough. It's a little scary and you want to do everything perfect. But as soon as you fail and you fail again and you fail again, you finally just laugh at yourself falling and you finally just get over it. And that's when you're at your best. Right, Bob?
No question about. But radio is the true foundation because it teaches you to paint the picture, so to speak.
Yeah.
It goes into the visualization, and in my line of work, it taught me how to describe certain things because we were on radio, for 5 years, and people always ask me, they say, how could you do this on radio? Well, we didn't have anything to compare it to, number one, and number two, it was such an education. I mean, I would have a gold chain on the radio, and I would, tap it on the microphone and say, hear that quality? That's quality.
When you did that, when you described everything by radio, and then when you took it to them or they picked it up, did they look at the product and go, oh, not like you said, not like you described, or did they say it was better?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't run into that very much.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
Everybody's expectations, are different. At the very beginning, people would have to come to the radio studio to pick it up, so you would be faced there with them. So you better tell the truth from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, always. But there's just always fun things to talk about. There's always stories to the extreme.
Oh yeah. I mean, no doubt about that. It's really been something. But what's so exciting is the future. The future with as I said earlier, everybody with a cell phone. You've got your own shopping channel. Learn how to use it. To get your ideas across, or to get your beliefs out there, or to get your message. And why not use it? I mean, it's so powerful. Video is so powerful and so effective. And it's basically what home shopping was at the beginning, was the impact of video.
Well, we have open lines happening, and we got people wanting to talk to you.
Really?
You ready? Can you believe it?
Oh, I
It's
love
amazing.
it. I love it. Okay, all right.
You're so funny. You guys, he was like, is anybody going to call, you think? Yeah, absolutely. 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 Our people, oh my goodness. Are you kidding? They're wonderful. And, come on, they're picking it up from you as well. So we're going to go wild card line number 2. Todd out of Bellevue, Washington. You are on the air. Welcome to Coast AM.
Thank you, Connie, so much. Now, it sounds like you have a background with Disney, and I wanted to ask you folks how you see the future of selling Hasbro toys, dolls, and action figures as far as G.I. Joe and Star Wars. Do you think it should be done through TV, or do you think we should bring back Toys R Us?
Well, I think, TV, Todd, first of all, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. TV is such a visual medium, and I think everybody has now gravitated to a comfort level of being able to shop from home, and that's one of the success stories of home shopping. There are many people out there that don't like to go shopping. They don't like to go to the mall. They don't like to go to the store. They don't have time to do that. And there's also another category of people, for one reason or another, they can't go out. So people are really comfortable at home now in getting merchandise. And those products that you mentioned, Todd, those categories are very popular on TV, and still are. And there's a need for them.
They are, and it's fun when those things. Well, I mean, did you know I had a game on the market? Did you ever know that?
No.
Yeah, I had a game on the market. Yeah, we'll talk about that at some time when we get to play golf.
How did I not know that?
Hey, I know exactly. How dare you not know everything about me, Bob?
But Todd's right. I mean, those products are viable. I think TV is perfect for them.
Wildcard line number 3, Suzanne out of South Jersey. You're on the air. Welcome to Coast AM.
Oh, well, thank you so much for accepting my call, and I just thank you and love the show. Love Coast to Coast. I love everybody on it. The people. Connie, you're a joy. You can tell you're a genuine person, and the same with Bob. You mentioned the word comfortable, and it's just the way I feel when I hear your voices, that there's a genuineness, there's a sincerity and caring, and Bob said it so well about helping, and
yep.
I loved how he talked about his mentor, talking with a smile, because it's almost like you can say anything with a smile, and it seems as though it works, whatever it is.
Yep.
But I called because I'm in a dilemma myself. I'm in the beginning of the beginning, and there's so much that I don't know, that I don't trust myself in decisions. I have a patent, and I don't know what to do with it. My patent lawyer said, don't put any money in, get an investor, and I'm willing to give the lion's share. All I want is a license deal. I have 13 ideas on paper, but this is my first one I haven't launched, and I'm 75 years old, and I don't know, I'm not going to live forever. I'd like to leave a legacy. I really don't want anything. I just want to be creative, and I have that creativity, and I don't know the right people, and I don't know how to.
Well, licensing is very, very lucrative. Can be very lucrative. You have to be, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You have to be very careful who you talk to. Always ask for references. Always ask for, what are you doing now? What products do you have out there? What are you licensing right now? Not 5 years ago, but today. Because the market changes so quickly, you want to have somebody who's effective today, not in years past. So, and this is a product that is it manufactured already?
I have the patent, and I don't know. I need to. I need to start at the very beginning, however that is. I mean, you need the manufacturer, the distributor, and all the steps that go into the process. I have done the side where I've developed it to receive the patent, and I want to go forward with it, but I don't know who to trust.
Right. Oh, and boy, that's the key word, and that's one of the biggest challenges. Who do you find to trust? I talk about that in the book and in the training program and everything about how to proceed, how to be careful, and who to talk to and everything. And I would love to be able to give you some names, but I really can't do that. But I'm happy to talk with you offline at some point.
There you go. So
I'm
go to your website.
reached.
And that's how to find you.
Go to the website, and there's a contact page, and just shoot me a contact, and I'll get back in touch.
There you go, Suzanne. Good luck, and thanks for all the nice words. That was very nice. Yep, give him a call. That's what he does. First-time caller Robin out of Ventura, California, on Open Lines. You're on the air. Welcome.
Good morning. My favorite guest host and my favorite HSN pitcher. How an honor to talk to both of you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought Bob would get a kick out of this, Connie. I want to tell Bob the very first thing I bought from HSN back in 1985 and ask him about a couple of his colleagues he used to work with. First of all, I want to tell you I bought a $5 tomato phone.
I remember it so well.
Oh, you did. You did. I probably bought it from you, Bob. Who knows? But I was walking through my living room and they said, "Hey, you want to join HSN? We got a special for you." I thought, I need that.
And as you remember too, Robin, $5 off your first purchase, right?
Yes, it was basically free, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I remember it well. Oh, that's great. That's great.
And I want to ask you a couple of your fellow co-hosts that back in the, I think, early 90s, probably Aaron Morrissey and Chuck Spicer. Do you remember them?
Yes. Oh, of course. And they're still around. Chuck, I believe, is in Michigan right now.
Okay.
And he does lots of videos in the automobile industry and does extremely well. And Erin is she was a couple of years ago. I've not seen her in a couple of years, but she worked for an attorney at that time. So she's done extremely well. Do you remember Larry Muzzy?
Of course, yes. What's Larry doing?
I had not seen Larry Muzzy in 25 years.
Oh my goodness!
And I got to golf with him last Friday.
Oh my goodness!
And it was the best time. He is such a treat. He really is. Wow, you go way back, Robin.
I sure do. And there's a couple other people another female host that was very popular there, and another guy, but I honestly can't remember their names. But man, I do go way back.
Well, I'm glad you remembered my name. I appreciate that.
Oh gosh, Bob. I mean, my God, you QBC and you merged. So David Venable is Mr. QBC, and Bob, you're Mr. HSN.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so much,
and
Robin.
Connie, you're delightful. You're my favorite guest host on Coast to Coast, and I love you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much.
Wow, what a nice call.
Absolutely. We get great calls. Great people. So let's keep that going. Let's go east of the Rockies. Carlos out of Miami, Florida. You are on the air. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Connie, you're great. And Bob, you're awesome. It's an honor to speak to both of you.
Thank you.
I hope I could be one of your success stories. I was defrauded big time by a partner in business, but he could not steal my creativity. I'm a commercial artist and graphic designer. I've been designing products for the last 25 years for different companies and people. A lot of them are in the marketplace. So I created a product. It's called Cereal and Oatmeal Buddies, and this is one of the success stories, hopefully. It's an 100% all-natural strawberries that, you can put on cereal, oatmeal. It's kosher. It's also, you can put it on yogurts and salads and ice cream. And when I was a child, I used to eat the strawberries out of the cereal. And when I was done, it was just cereal, no strawberries.
Yes.
And I asked my mother, I said, "Mom, can you get me some more strawberries?" And she said, "No, they don't sell them. You have to buy a whole cereal with the strawberries in it."
All right.
Since that, nobody came up with this with this, and I came
That's
up with
great.
it after I got defrauded.
Oh, it sounds
That's
incredible.
great.
Now,
you got
where
defrauded.
do you make this? Where do you make it? Do you have a kitchen or?
No. This is manufactured by a company. It's freeze dried. You know,
Okay. Right.
You could eat it right out of the bag when you put it in your mouth. You know, with in your mouth, it comes back to you know, it gets the moisture and becomes a natural strawberry again.
Oh wow! And where are you marketing it now, Carlos?
I have it in brick and mortar stores locally in Miami. I've tried going into the big chain stores, and what they said to me was, "Oh, come and see us when you are selling $100,000, a year, and then you're able to. We can get 40% from that." And I said, "Well, if I did that, I wouldn't need you."
That's right.
Well, a lot of people ask me, you know, does HSN sell food? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
I mean, TV shopping sells a lot of food-oriented products. If you wouldn't mind, go to my website and on the contact button or whatever they call it, just send me some information, and I'll get back to you on it.
Well, the second product now is the first product. You know, I pretty much oriented for kids. So I have the strawberries. I call him Strawberry Freddy, and he's like a cartoon character in the front. And the next one's going to be Hannah Banana and Strawberry Freddy. and I have a follow-up product, which is Blueberry Bob. So that's going to be you.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, my. That's great.
So it's going to be Hannah Banana, Strawberry Freddy, and Blueberry Bob.
I love it. I love it. Oh, yes, I'll be happy to get back to you.
And those can be characters on a comic book. You can do so much with that. So you can get so creative with these things.
And that's why TV is perfect, visual medium. Or when I say TV, I'm also talking about video in other ways too. But with video, you make it come alive, and it sounds very, very interesting. All right, look forward to finding out more.
Yeah, he said he was defrauded by his partner, so I guess he's going to have some more to tell you. But man, I really, you and I were talking, and I was in the culinary area, I was in the bedding area, I was in several different areas when it came to being on HSN and QVC. But the food one, that's the most fun to me because, oh man, that's just fun. And
no doubt about it.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Oh, I love that idea too.
Open line. I do too. Open lines continue. Mike, wildcard line number 3 out of Denver, Colorado. Hey there, Mike. You're on the air.
Hi, Connie. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you so much for this interview tonight. This has been so interesting, so thank you, first of all.
You're welcome.
Oh, thanks.
And Bob Circosta, absolutely. And Bob Circosta, thank you for your visionary approach to television. I'm really in awe of what you've accomplished throughout your career, so thank you.
Oh, you're very kind. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then I just had a quick question. So actually one of my favorite questions to ask, when you first started out in media, what were your goals? What were your aspirations? What did you really want to accomplish in your career?
Well, the first thing I really wanted to do was a talk show, believe it or not. And I went out to California, and I wanted to have a talk show, and I starved. I remember calling my father and trying to tell him everything was okay when it wasn't. And then I finally told him, I got about $1.20 in my pocket right now. And he said, come on back to Tampa. And he said, it's a growing area back here. And so I got in the old U-Haul and loaded up and drove back across the country and came to Tampa. And I saw an ad for a talk show host on a radio station. And I went in and auditioned, and I got it. And a month later, that's when they brought in the can openers.
Bob Circosta, Connie Willis, Open Lines, Coast to Coast AM. Another very interesting show here on Coast to Coast AM. Connie Willis with you. You guys have been asking me about throughout the night about Robert Treat. He was on Coast to Coast here with me on Christmas Day night, I believe it was, and he was talking about the deathbed confession. We had a GoFundMe for him, all that kind of thing going on. If you remember, he was telling why the aliens were here and who they are. And then I did a 22 episode session with Robert Treat. So we've got a phase 2 coming up. And I also did a live 2-night show where you could see him and talk to him and ask questions. So that was just the other night. That's on my show, Blue Rock Talk. And what he did was he told in the, when he was with the elite group, he talked about the company, actually spoke of who he worked for, gave the name, showed himself, took his sunglasses off. So you can go and watch that archived if you'd like. I've got that at ConnieWillis.com. But also another next phase of podcasts at Connie Willis, the podcast. So if you were into that, and believe me, there's going to be more things on the podcast besides that. But right now, Robert is telling us all his information before he goes into the hospital for his surgery. And if you are really enjoying that, well, catch back up. Go to Connie Willis, the podcast, catch up on those shows because the next ones are going to start up again. And I'd like to do some live ones with him where you can ask questions. So more information, go to ConnieWillis.com. Now, you want to sell a message, you want to sell anything, you want to convince someone that the food that you just cooked for dinner is delicious, and it's your mom telling you, the kids, Mom, you want to send that message to your kids that it's delicious, even if you don't think so. Well, you can learn how to do that with our guest tonight, Bob Circosta. He's got a book out, Life's a Pitch, another book apparently in the future coming out, or something else coming out. I got to remember. I'll let him tell that. But the Life is a Pitch is a book. It's also now audio book, which just came out today. And then his course, Master Your Message. That's what he's been talking about. You can go to bobcircosta.com. That is Bob, B-O-B, and then Circosta, CIRCOSTA.com. It's one letter. If you mess up that one letter, Bob, you're in trouble. They can't find you, so you got to spell it out sometimes.
That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you.
You're welcome. What else? You got another book, or what is it that's also about to come out?
No, there'll be a new video coming out.
Oh.
How to sell something in 60 seconds on social media.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so that'll be coming out. The course that's available right now has 13 videos to it. I broke it down into 6 different modules, but 13 total videos. And what I like about it is you're able to watch them over and over and over again. There's no limit. And I found out that with a lot of courses, you're limited to how many times you can access them and watch them. But that's not the case with mine. You're able to watch it as many times as you want to. And then, as you said so kindly, the paperback book is available, and the audio book produced by the good folks at Nightingale Conant. That just came out hours ago. So you're really the first audience to hear about it. And so that's available. You know, if you want to listen to it in your car, or, you know, if that's more convenient for you, then that works out that way too. So, and just drop me a message at the website as well.
And the cooler thing is, you've been really nice to the Coast fans, and you're giving the 75% off for Coast fans. They got to go to the link, right, and then put Coast, the code word Coast. Right.
You got to put the word Coast in there, and off the course, you'll get it, I think, $300 off, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
amazing.
That is, wow.
I know it.
That's a giveaway. That really is. So
thank you.
I hope you take advantage of it. And once again, it's not just for a tangible product. It really doesn't have anything to do with TV shopping at that moment on how to pitch something. Though pitching it on video on your cell phone or whatever is the same type of concept. So it does cover all of that. But it really runs. And it's the first time, Connie, in 46 years that I've created the videos. First time ever. And it came about because of the pandemic. When the pandemic started to hit, I got so many calls from people making videos on social media, and I said, let me just put together a program to help as many people as possible, and that's how it all came about. So I hope everybody takes it. I'm very proud of it, and I hope everybody takes advantage of it. It's not theory, I can tell you that. It's not based on theory. It's based on facts. It's based on what works.
And you did make a great deal, and I'm taking advantage of it, and I'm going to watch it. And I got your phone number, so I can ask you personally. Hey, what did this mean? If I need to.
You sure can. Yeah. And I
love
also
it.
do, as an extension of that course, one-on-ones. I do a lot of one-on-one trainings. When somebody will come to me and say, "Hey, here's what I have. How can I do this?" And I recommend taking the course first, of course, and then. But I do lots of one-on-one trainings as well, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. I really do.
I bet. Well, you might get bombarded after telling that one here. Hang on. You're on. Get ready for a ride, Bob.
I'm ready.
West, let's go with open lines. Let's go west of the Rockies. Charles out of Sacramento, California. Thanks for holding. You are on the air.
Hi, Connie. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Charles.
I tried to do the Coast code on your your $100 thing on the website, and it wasn't taking it. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping. Maybe somebody on that.
Do this for me, Charles. Go back to the contact page and shoot me your email and tell me that, and I'll make sure that you get the link sent to you.
Copy that. Okay, so my question is about exclusivity and its value and when to apply it. Like, for example, Avon, has a lot of sales and they make a lot of exclusive agreements, and like, say, like Paul Mitchell would do exclusive. You have to go, to their suppliers and then, so something like that. And then what does better, cats or dog products on the show?
Well, the pet industry, as you know, is a mega industry, and there are pet category items that do very well on TV shopping. It's usually, I know the shampoos do very well, the beds and that type of paraphernalia, they do very well. Pet care items do very well. So, that's a category that works. As far as exclusivity, you have to be very selective about that. You can't make everything exclusive. Then it really takes away from it. Exclusivity is very, very good, but you have to be very selective.
Wildcard line number 1, Super, out of Los Angeles, California. Super, welcome. You're on the air with Coast to Coast.
Oh, hi, Connie. This is my first time talking to you. Hi, Mr. Circosta.
Hi, Super. I love your name. Wow.
Yeah.
Super.
That's my little radio name. But I have a comment, Mr. Circosta. Listen to this, okay?
Please, first of all, please call me Bob.
Okay. This is like, since, CIR in your name stands. So I think of selling, I call it pretty persuasion. Mm-hmm. It's not selling, it's pretty persuasion. It's going to do your life good.
Okay,
so the circle of effective cost and pretty persuasion. See how you were predestined to sell stuff?
Oh, wow. Aren't you something? That's why they call you Super.
But I also had a question that I have a disability myself, and I don't want to get ripped off legally, financially, and throw out my idea and have somebody, especially typing it online or something, the way that people can grab something out of Google these days.
Sure.
And I also just want to find out, mine's more geared toward an application more than a product, but I just want to see if somebody's working on something similar, can I still proceed with my application and getting investors? And that's basically
I tell you what, Super, just, send me a message on the website. Go to bobcircosta.com and go to where it says contacts and shoot me a message. And I'll call you and I'll talk to you about it, and we'll see where it will go. Some things that don't apply to, let's say, a TV shopping channel, but may do very, very well on the Internet. Okay, they both use video extremely well, but it's a different application. So just I'd be happy to help you in any way I can.
Thanks for the call. Open lines continuing. Wildcard line number 5. Let's talk to Scott, California. Hey there, Scott. You're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Connie. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Scott.
Happy New Year to you, even though it's a little late.
And you.
I have a sort of a comment of sort of like, what is your thought on sort of the new TV show like Shark Tank and the aggressiveness of that?
Well, Shark Tank certainly serves a purpose, and it certainly offers a great service to a lot of people who are trying to, raise capital and raise money. Usually when products come to home shopping, that part of it's already done. And what home shopping does, Scott, it really handles the distribution. In other words, you're able to get your product out to a lot of people. So, but if you're trying to raise capital, I mean, Shark Tank has proven themselves as a very effective entity and a very effective way to do it.
First-time caller Joanne out of Citrus Heights, California. Hey there, Joanne. You're on the air too.
Hey, Connie. Great bumper music tonight, by the way.
Thank you.
Bob, I've known you, well, not really, but, through the medium, since 1989 when I started shopping with HSN. And the first product I ever bought was Connie Stevens' Time Machine. Do you remember her?
Oh, I remember. Forever Spring. The line was called Forever Spring.
And I still buy her stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Connie's a good friend.
And another thing you mentored, what I'm sure you mentored her, was Terry Lewis, was one of your all-star hosts. And do you remember I bought 8 of her, she went into leathers. She sold leather coats that were just gorgeous.
Yeah, Terry was just a terrific host, and then when she decided she wanted to move on, like you just said, she went into her own clothing line.
Yeah,
and, did extremely
I liked her
well.
though
She's
on TV.
Super gal. She's a super gal.
And Alice.
Alice Cleveland.
Yes, Cleveland and Alicia Ames. I bought more sweaters from that girl than. You know what the thing about that is, though? Those sweaters they used to sell, they are such good grade. I still have them.
Yeah, good quality.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, you're exactly right. Oh, I'm so happy that you called in and.
I love that show. And QVC, of course, I started about a year after that with my whole house is QVC now, of course. But
bless your heart.
You can't buy this stuff out here.
Well, one of the reasons that products on TV shopping succeed is because you can't really get them anywhere else. And that's one of the reasons why people respond that way. So the uniqueness of the products, you're right, and the quality as well. I'm so
and the deals,
yeah,
and the deals. Yeah, thank you so much. And the deals, right? There's not that middleman, right there. That was always what I remember as, hey, you're going to get a better deal because you don't have that middleman.
You are so right. I mean that, and those savings truly are passed on to the viewer. I mean that's
it is true
of that marketplace. Yeah, you're right. You're a smart shopper.
Hey, I learn it from the inside. I'm on the inside. And, too, I tell people as well that, hey, before you go shopping or before you go do this or you go here, check out HSN, check out QVC, check out the website, and just go in there and then check for clearances as well. Oh my goodness. They're even, they're great too. Because they got to clear out that warehouse, right, and put some more stuff in.
Well, I'll give you a little secret to all the shoppers out there. There are many items that because of the quantity, they don't put them on the air anymore, and they keep them on hsn.com or qvc.com, and it's a great way to get an extra bargain.
It sure is. I do it all the time. Yeah. Wildcard line number 4, staying with open lines here. Nancy out of Houston, Texas. You're on the air, Nancy. Welcome.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Nancy.
Starting in 1985, I quit my soap operas to watch HSN. I thought you were better entertainment.
Well, we were a soap opera back then.
That's what they said, yes. Well, I'd like to ask you about these show hosts because I follow them faithfully. Yeah. Whatever happened to Tina Berry and Alice Cleveland? What are they doing now?
Alice is still in the area, and she's kind of retired. She's traveling a lot. She's on Facebook, I know that. And then Tina, I believe, is out. I want to say in Arizona. I might have the state wrong, but she's out west in the Arizona area and doing very, very well.
Is she still on the air, or what is she doing for a career?
No, she's not on the air anymore. Alice is not on the air either.
Oh.
But I think, as you well remember, Tina was very involved with dolls.
Yes.
And I think she still is very involved.
All the stuff I learned from them, I see it on Antiques Roadshow, and I said, Alice and Tina Berry taught me that.
They're two great people. They really are. They're wonderful. They're good friends, and they're really nice people.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Nancy. That's excellent. Yeah, Tina, Alice, member of them both. Got to be on air with them as I had a product in, and Tina was always fun to work. Well, both of them are fun to work with. Anytime when I was really doing all the culinary stuff as Chef Connie. Anytime you cook with one of the hosts, I mean, it's just going to be,
sure.
It's going to be a good show.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt about that.
Everybody likes to eat for sure. Betty, east of the Rockies. Oh, I'm sorry. What do we only have a minute? Okay, so we're going to hold that call. I'd like to ask you, Mr. Bob Circosta. Oh, that's right. Just call you Bob.
Please.
Would you stay another hour with us?
Stay another hour?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Hey, for you, the world, Connie.
I love it. Okay. We've got the phone lines. They just want to talk to you, Bob. I appreciate that you'll stick around. So open lines continue. We're talking with Bob Circosta. Life's a Pitch. Master Your Message. Audible, PDF, hard copy. Go to bobcircosta.com. Get a special coast-to-coast price and learn all sorts of great things. Thanks for being with us. Open lines continue here. Connie Willis, Coast to Coast AM. Here on Coast to Coast AM. How are you tonight? Open lines happening right now. Bob Circosta, our guest, and he's sticking around for another hour because you guys want to talk to him. So we're going to satisfy you with all that you asked for. Keep the calls coming. Open lines here on Coast to Coast AM. We are back. We are taking your questions on Coast to Coast AM as it is open lines. My name is Connie Willis, and I want to again thank you for so many nice emails, so many nice tweets, so many nice private messages that come all the time. And when you post as well, I really, really do appreciate that. There's like a page and a group, this or that, where you can find me all over Facebook and, of course, going to ConnieWillis.com. And I just wanted to say thank you very much, not only for supporting my private membership shows of Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, but you guys have really just jumped on my podcast at Connie Willis, the podcast. And I appreciate that because that's new to me. And it just realized just how much it is like radio. And I just love it to death. So thank you for that. And we've got so many more things coming up on it. Catch up with the Robert Treat deathbed confession, which of course he's getting the surgery is coming up. So please listen and catch up with it before we start the next phase. So you'll be right back in line to where we are because we're going to be doing that this week, this next coming week. I keep thinking this is Saturday or Sunday or something. It's Friday. So please re-listen to them again. Get ready because you're going to hear some things that you haven't heard yet that he's stepped out on the line to say. And I think you'll enjoy that. So Connie Willis, the podcast. Any more info on me, ConnieWillis.com, and you'll see the face even on there. That is the man we're talking to tonight, Bob Circosta. You can find him at bobcircosta.com. Got a special treat for Coast fans, taking $300 off of a $397 class. Thank you so much for that. We do appreciate that you do that for us. You know, whenever somebody comes on with something, I love that they give us, Coast fans, a nice discount, but yours is like over 75%. Thank you for that. Also, that's the class Master Your Message. Also, Life's a Pitch, his book, and out on audio now too. So I love it. I'm pitching Bob Circosta tonight. I'm pitching him.
And doing it very well, I might add, Connie.
I appreciate that coming from the best saying that. That's really cool. So how are you doing tonight? I do appreciate your sticking around for another hour with us because we got a lot of calls for you.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I'm just so glad so many people are interested. And by the way, I'm getting. I'm looking at my phone. I'm getting a couple of a few contacts that people are going to the website. And if you're not able to get that, if you put in Coast and it's not working for any reason whatsoever, or can't find the audio book, or whatever the case may be, just shoot me an email, a contact on the website, and I'll be sure that you get the right information.
Okay, So and to do that, go to bobcircosta.com.
How do you spell that, Connie?
CIRCOSTA with Bob before it.
Very good.
I love it. Yeah. This is all fun. This is fun. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Wildcard line number 2, Daniel out of New Jersey. Daniel, you're on the air with Coast to Coast.
Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Dan. Sorry, Bob. Pleasure speaking with you both. I got a little nervous there. I have a few quick questions. So about 2 years ago, I conceived of a product actually during a dream of mine, and I woke myself up and I drew it down on a piece of paper. And since then, I've been prototyping it, testing it, patenting it, and I finally got to the point where I'm more or less ready to bring the product to market, but I've sort of been paralyzed by my inability to select a good brand name and a good company name for this endeavor. And I was wondering if Bob has any suggestions for developing a good commercial identifier, something that will catch people's attention, sort of connect with them on an emotional level, while at the same time conveying the utility of the product, but without coming across as like too utilitarian or too industrial.
Right. Well, you've said a few things right there, Daniel, that are just so important and so critical. The name is very, very important because that identifies your brand, and you're right. In the name, it's got to say what the product is or the benefit of the product. I include in all the information, the course and everything like that, what I have patented myself, copyrighted myself, is a $1 billion formula. And it basically is based on 5 letters, WSGAT. I call it WSGAT, WSGAT. And those letters stand for what's so good about that. And if you take what your product is and you apply that and answer that question on a piece of paper and just keep answering it over and over and over again, you'll see the name that it should be called. It will appear there eventually. I mean, that's one exercise that you can do right away, okay? You mentioned something else about making that emotional connection, and you are so right. You must make the emotional connection with your product. I always say features tell, but benefits sell. And you've got to make everything benefit-oriented. And the only way to really make the connection between what you have and the other person is by creating that emotional connection. And I go deep into that on the course because it's so, as you just pointed out, it's so very, very important. So I think if you do that exercise, I think you'll be able to sift through, and it'll become a lot clearer to you. But it's so important, Daniel. Like you said, I mean, that's the name. That's what's going to cause people either to want to know more or not. So you're so right. I wish you all the best.
Yeah, good luck there, Daniel. And you can always contact him at his website. I think it was you, Bob, a long time ago that I'm pretty sure it was you, where when you're on the air, well, I'm just saying when you're on the air, because that's how I learned all of this. It was kind of like always tell why when you say something. Like, let's just say there's some clock and there is a button on it. And it's really cool that it has this button, but you got to say, this button is really cool. You can't just say this button is really cool. You got to say this button is really cool because when you press it, then it swings back and forth, for 24 hours or something. You always have to give why. Don't just say this is a cool button. You got to say why it is a cool button. It's always
so right, and I run into it all the time when I'm teaching folks how to do this. Is that you have to really gravitate from just focusing on what your product or what your service or whatever it is you have, what it will do. How's it going to help me? How's it going to make my life better? What problem is it going to solve? Is it demonstrable? All those things. I mean, you're so right. You've got to take it further than that. You cannot, one of the last things I say to myself before I go out on the air with a product is, nobody needs this. Nobody needs what I have. Their lives are going to go on if they don't get what I have. Let me tell them why. How's this really going to enhance their lives? Now, something I got to make very, very clear, Connie, is everything that I teach and everything that I believe in, this is not a gimmick. This is not tricks. You're not going to trick anybody into anything. It's got to be based on integrity and honesty and genuineness. And once you use that as a foundation, that's a critical step in having effective communication. So, but you're right. I mean, you got to tell the why.
No, absolutely right on everything across the board, except a few things. Let me talk to you about this. No, I'm kidding. You're the guy. You're the man. You're the man.
Oh, I can give you a long list of mistakes I've made over the years. That's how you learn. That's how you learn.
It's exactly how you learn. That's exactly right. We have Brother Don on wildcard line number 3. Brother Don from Kent, Ohio. You're on the air. Welcome.
Oh, Sister Connie and Brother Bob, happy Sabbath. Bob, I wanted to pitch a bizarre recipe menu. It's titled Witch's Brew. And my main entree is the evil chicken. And what it is basically is healthy deviled eggs.
I like that, Brother Bob.
Yeah.
Wait, before I get into that, did Connie say you were from Kent, Ohio?
Yeah, Kent, where they shot the students back in the 1970s.
No, I graduated from Kent State University.
Me. Whoa,
I graduated in 1972, and the shootings were in 1970. I covered it for the radio station.
Oh, wow.
What radio station?
WKSU. It was the campus radio.
Oh, yeah, the campus, right on campus. Whoa, yeah. I ETS'd out of a NOM back in April 23, and I happen to know Alan Camphora, one of the leaders.
Oh, sure, yes.
Yeah, yes, and it was absolutely tragic
Ravenna,
thing.
Ravenna's right there, and, downtown Kent. In fact, I went back to Kent maybe 2 years ago. They wanted me to teach an entrepreneurial class.
You would be great.
Which I did for just a little period of time. But anyhow, let me get back to I tell you what's occurring to me as you describe that is this would be a great video, how to sell this, great video on the Internet. It really, I can almost see you doing it. And we've never met before, but I can almost see you doing it, and in a kitchen, and it's so real to me. It really is. But I think that's how you should market it, is video on the Internet.
So, Brother Don, there you go. Healthy deviled eggs. Well, I thought they were all healthy.
No, not really. No,
they're delicious. No,
they're delicious. They might be delicious, but they're not all healthy. But Brother Bob,
they're all healthy.
Got the recipe. I have it.
No, they're all healthy. Every deviled egg out there. So eat them up. Don't make me stop eating those. Those are the best.
Oh, I love them. I love them too. Yeah,
I do. Man, they're delicious. Okay, Dee.
Great. And that's what's great. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what's great about today. Is that, as I said earlier, everybody with a cell phone, you've got your own home shopping channel. You can make it come alive right away if you know what to do.
I tell you, you have started so much. Just the other day, I sent you a link, right, of they were asking for influencers across the world, right, to do a new influencer shopping channel network.
Yeah, exactly.
You go on to Amazon, now they have people demonstrating products.
Yep.
It goes on and on. Man, I'm glad it was you, Bob. I'm glad it was you.
Well, I'm glad it was too, as a matter of fact. But everybody can do it now. If you know how to do it, everybody has the distribution. And that's the key. So just learn the presentation. Just learn the message.
Well, there you go with your deal that you have. Man, that is so true. The distribution is right in your hands, that phone. It's right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gold mine you have in your pocket. But you've got to know, as with anything, you've got to know how to use it effectively.
That's right.
That's why that's how that course came about, was because people were going on the internet because of the pandemic, and they were selling their product or they were marketing their opportunity or idea or whatever, service or whatever, and that's how it came about.
And that's where I think it's important too with online business, and one of the reasons as well to have you on, not just because of the phenomenal aspect of all of it in you, but there's a lot of people now that, because jobs have changed, everything has changed so much in the last couple of years, and people that are looking for jobs that still need to have income. You can do it online. You can do it yourself. And you're right. That is your distribution center. Never looked at it that way.
And a lot of people, Connie, they kind of shy away from it. You know what really works is being real.
Yes.
Being yourself. That's what works. And many people have never received the permission to do that. They feel like they have to, they have to be so super professional. I mean, I believe in professionalism, of course, but that they have to be, somebody else. And that's not the case. You just need to know what to do within your own comfort level, and that'll make it work.
That's exactly right. And you learn that along the way. As I was studying all my life of, always knew I wanted TV, radio, film, that type of world. And so it was like, well, I'm in Kentucky. How am I going to do that? I'm not in LA. I'm not in New York. I'm not where the hub is of all that kind of thing. And so you take the classes, you learn a little bit more. And throughout it, when I started getting a little work here, a little work there, you do the auditions, you do what it is you do. It's a very tough world, by the way, to do these types of things. You got work or you don't. You do really well or, you're up and down. It's just different all the time. But what I learned is, because I thought I really wanted to go into acting into the films, and I kept getting TV work and radio work. And somebody asked me something like, well, don't you want to do films? Didn't you want to act in films? And I'm like, well, yeah, but everybody keeps hiring me. I guess they just like me. Mm-hmm. And it hit me, and I went, oh, they like me. I'm just being me. And that's what worked.
and many people don't make the connection yet.
Yeah.
You got to be you. Yeah. And you can be in your own kitchen nowadays at home.
I know.
And you could be making money. That's the thing.
Exactly right.
That's what's so amazing. Don't let the word sell scare you. Don't let it prevent you from doing what you want to do. There was a guy years ago, Red Motley, and he made a quote. I've never forgotten it. He said, "Nothing happens in America until somebody sells something," and it's true. And so don't let that deny you having freedom, and that's what you were talking about a little bit ago. The freedom to pick up a little extra money. We all need that. We all want to do that. But now it's possible. You're holding it in your hand, that phone. It can be done.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Do we have enough time for another call, you think? Okay. Really quickly here, we'll go to wildcard line number 4, Dee Dee out of Seattle. Hey there, Dee Dee. Just a little bit of time. I hope we can take care of you there. You're on the air.
Okay, I would do this quickly, but I really need some help from Bob. I have been sitting on an invention that is a clothes dryer, and I have this idea of putting my invention within a clothes dryer. And I mean, what happened is when I go out to the laundry room, because I live in an apartment building, I came up with this idea because it was so much an inconvenience going out to the laundry room. and you won't believe it. So I really need to talk with you.
Okay. Here's what you do. Don't tell me what it is because you want to keep it private. Just email me. Go to the website bobcircosta.com and go there and just shoot me a contact. You go to the contact page and shoot me an email or whatever, and I'll get back in touch.
Excellent. Way to go, Dee Dee. That's all you needed was that many seconds. Now
notice what she was doing. She was solving a problem.
Yes.
And that's key.
Yes. Absolutely. That is it. Funny as it is, and we just have a little bit of time here left real quick. One of the things you, me, and a couple other people I know in the industry have always wanted to do is have a successful golf product because we love golf so much. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we come back because we just love golf. We're all like, we want a golf product just because we love golf so much. Open lines happening here. Bob Circosta staying with us, taking your phone calls. I'm Connie Willis. You're listening to Coast AM. It's Coast to Coast AM. Connie Willis here, our very last segment of Open Lines. I can't believe it. It's just flying by. Time is flying by tonight. Feeling good, sounding good. Might lose the voice, but only out of being tired. But I'm having a good time, wide awake. And our guest, actually, that was going to hang around for a couple hours, then another hour. And we just can't get rid of the man, Bob Circosta. He just will not leave the show.
I don't want to leave. I love it.
Thanks for sticking around. I do appreciate it. And you know Coast to Coast. When I said, "Hey, let's get you on Coast," you knew what it was.
Oh yeah, I listened to it. Are you kidding? I mean, it's been around for a long time, and I've enjoyed it.
And when I remember pulling all those late nights, early mornings on Home Shopping Network, and that's what you still do.
Yep. And like you said, it's live. It's live.
Yep. I got to tell you, that's my favorite thing in the world is live. And speaking of that, before we hit the phones again, our last segment here, the shopping channels have changed a lot due to the pandemic as well. It's not all live anymore.
Well, that's true. It like everything else, the pandemic had an impact on everything and everyone. For about 2 years, we did the shows from our homes. In other words, I did all my products when I was on the air. I did it via Skype from my living room or I had a little studio built in my house after a while because I thought, well, this is going to go on for a while.
Yeah.
So I had a studio built, but I did it from the home, did it from my kitchen, did it from which really brought home shopping back home, so to speak. And it was very, very well received. And it's just starting to go back into the studio now in the last month or so. And, they do tape overnight a couple of times, like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, something like that. But mainly it's live.
Yeah, I was just surprised at, everybody across the board in TV did that where they just, had to shoot it from home. And I have a home studio. I'm in the closet. Bob. And it's got the best sound,
Yeah. I mean, I love doing it from home. In fact, I didn't wear pants for 2 years. I mean, it was great.
Well, don't try to picture me right now because I don't want to tell you what's really going on over here.
That's funny.
So we'll go back to the phone.
Okay,
you're doing what's that?
I said, yeah, let's go back quickly to bail us out here before we get in trouble.
Because you're also just, don't have to worry about the cameras right now. East of the Rockies, Betty, North Carolina, you are on the air with Bob and Coast to Coast.
Thank you for taking my call, and hi, Bob. And I have something funny to tell you about that Brick House song. Okay? Years ago, I was probably about in my 30s, and there was a young girl about 18, and she said to me one day, we were at a party working it, and she said, "What's a brick house?" And I said, "You are."
There you go. Get your points all the time.
Yeah. But, Bob, you're very interesting in that. But I have a different kind of question for you.
Sure.
Because my mom, years ago, she got dementia, okay? And she liked the home shopping center thing, and we lived out of, not with them and that. So my mom and dad were by themselves and that. My dad had like a stroke at the time and that, so he had problems too. But she would order things and forget that she ordered them, okay?
Oh, wow.
And we found she had several, like 3 boxes, and then she was getting these bills that she didn't pay her bill and that. My dad would have paid him in an instant, if he knew about it.
Right.
And so anyways, so my brother calls up whichever home shopping it was, and he tells them, what happened and everything. And he said, she has dementia. We're going to pay this and everything. He goes, but we need you to take her name and address off your list. And the guy told him no. And he said to him, well, if you don't, we're going to call an attorney. And then he decided, okay, he'll do that, So what is your policy on something like that?
Well, first of all, if it was left up to me, I would have said, of course we'll take the name off. I mean, are you kidding? I mean, it's not even that's a no-brainer. But anyhow, the return policy, every product has a return policy. You can return anything for any reason whatsoever. And that's all gauged by the FDA, the FTC, the FCC, and all of those laws. So any product could be returned. So you could have just returned the products. That would have been one way. You know what I'm saying?
And then they had the envelopes were still on the boxes and everything. We weren't worried about that, and we weren't worried about paying it. It was just like trying to prevent it from happening to others.
Oh, sure. Oh, of course. And like I said, I mean there shouldn't be any question about that. But I had obviously nothing to do with that. But there shouldn't be any question about taking the name off in a situation like that. So eventually they did it. They took the name off.
Oh well, we never heard anything back, and I guess she never got any more things than that we were aware of and everything. So I think it took care of it, but it just surprised my brother that the guy told him no first.
Yeah, I would be surprised and upset at the same time.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Betty, thank you for your call. One of the other things, too, that people get addicted, Bob, as you know. I mean, they are constantly just ordering in boxes. I hear from people all the time that my mom or my dad or whoever it is, they constantly buy things and they've never even opened the boxes. I hear that a lot.
Yep, I hear that a lot, too. And I think it's because, all of this home shopping is built to a large degree on a relationship, on companionship, on a relationship, and so I think that has a lot to do with it. Just the purchase process, but it is addictive. I mean, there's no question. But again, you can return any product for any reason. You don't have to keep it whatsoever, and I think that's a safeguard issue. And they're very good about that. All the networks are pretty good about that.
Yeah, I didn't like, whoever that was that said no, not good, not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all.
Not good. Wildcard line number 3, we'll try to get in as many calls as we can. Let's see if we can go through them pretty quickly here. Walt out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey there, Walt. You're on the air.
Hello, pretty lady. Nice to talk. Nice to hear your voice again.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I was wondering what Bob ever met the late Ron Popeil. Some of his infomercials and his commercials were classics. In today's litigious society, we have all these lawyers just waiting to sue. And, I never forgot I thought it was a gag when I first saw it when he came out with the hair in a can. As a solution of baldness, because obviously
you're right.
You wouldn't want to breathe those hair in the can fumes into your lungs.
Yeah,
and
the
you know what
fisherman.
I mean? Whether it would even be possible to market that product today.
It may have some challenges. You're right, Walt. It may have some today, but I met Ron a couple of times over the years, and you talk about a legend. What a legend in the industry. I mean, he knew how to do it, and he knew what people really wanted and what they needed. And we lost him a few years ago, so sad to have that. But yeah, he really created quite a bit, like the pocket fisherman and the rotisserie oven and set it and forget it.
That's what I was going to say. You beat me to it.
Culture. He was a part of our culture, no doubt about it. Great guy.
Boy, everybody says that one too. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Who came up with the big mouth bass, the bass that would sing to you on the wall?
That was I want to say
that was great.
Telebrands. I can't remember the name of the guy. I think it was Telebrands, the name of the company that came up with that, which was very, very popular.
That was excellent.
yeah, it's great. It's great. And you never know what's going to hit.
Yeah. What was the first big hit on TV retail product wise, and what was the big hit TV product or product wise on infomercial?
Well, I really can't talk to infomercial, but I can talk to home shopping. I remember the night that we did a multimedia computer. This was back in the 80s. And I remember the gentleman coming in before the show and showing us the computer, and it played music. We went, wow, that was unheard of. It had never done that before. And so here was a multimedia computer, and so we put it on the air, and in 1 hour we did over $1 million worth of sales. And that was the first $1 million hour in the history of home shopping.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking infomercial was Jinsu knives, maybe.
Could be, or something of that ilk. Sure.
Yeah.
I just did an infomercial. In fact, I'm doing the third one next month for a great product called Omega XL. It is a great, great product. It's a supplement that helps relieve pain due to inflammation.
He's already pitching.
No. I mean, likes a pitch, right? But anyhow, it really is a great product. It's been on the air for like 18 years. Larry King did a lot of the infomercials. And when he sadly passed away, they called me, and so mine just came out a few weeks ago. So I'm happy to do that. I love that.
Well, I missed that call because I know you need a female co-host, and I must have missed that call. I'll have to check my messages.
You got to check your messages, Connie.
What's wrong with me? Let's go east of the Rockies and talk to Mike out of Wisconsin. Hey, Mike, you're on the air.
Hi, Connie. How are you tonight?
Hi, great. Thank you. You?
Very good. This is a fantastic show. I just wanted to say that I was in sales many years, and at one point I was sales manager of a vitamin company, and without any coworkers or advertising or the internet, I took sales from $1,000 a week to $10,000 a week in 3 years, all by myself. No internet, no advertising.
How did you do that, Mike? How did you do it?
On the phone, smile and dial. I sold products directly to the health food stores, vitamin stores, and natural food stores. Everything from snacks to bodybuilding formulas, herbal items, a multivitamin, you name it.
Wow. And I can tell just by hearing your voice, you got a passion, and I bet you did it very well.
And Mike, he's going to be calling you and leaving you messages. Thanks so much for the call. You make sure you get a hold of him on the back door on his website. Bob Circosta's joined us tonight with open lines and all night long. We appreciate him sticking around with us. Bob Circosta, Life's a Pitch. That you can pick up that book and you can read it and also listen to it in audio. And he also has Master Your Message, where he's this is where you can learn how to do what he did, and he's doing these a great deal for Coast fans. You go to bobcircosta.com. You're going to see where you can click it, the link, and you use the word Coast, and you get over 75% off. So anything else you'd like to say before you head out there, Bob? Because it's time to go, believe it or not.
Let me just tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed it, had a great time, and I thank everybody out there for the nice words and listening. And again, I'd love to help you. And Connie just said how we can do that. And Connie, my dear, dear friend, you know you've always had a special place in my heart, and you've always been special to me, and one of my favorite people. And I'm just so happy for all your success and your continued success. Thanks for inviting me, and I hope we can do it again.
You know, I appreciate hearing that from you. That is so sweet and kind. I know it's professional as well as friendly and loving and caring and kind and genuine. And I feel like we're like from the same core batch of something and whatever that is. And you know what? This is really the first time we've worked together.
I know. What took so long?
Well, you know what? I made the call and you answered. See, I keep missing your call.
I will always answer your call. You know that.
Oh, man. And we're going to go play golf. We're going to play golf. So thank you, Bob.
Oh,
thank you so
much.
much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Connie. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bob Circosta. You've seen him. You've heard him. You know him. You've bought something from him. and it was nice for him to make such a deal for Coast fans. Great guy. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So thank all of you that were a part of the show and open lines. Thank all of you that called in. Sorry that we can't reach everybody, but next time we'll be back again. We'll be back again. Wow. That was a fun show. It just flew by too. And we have so many people that have helped us put this together that I want to make sure I thank them. And I hope that you all will join me outside of here at ConnieWillis.com for all of my shows. And thank you for supporting my podcast. Go to your favorite server of podcasting and look for Connie Willis, the podcast. I appreciate you joining and downloading and listening to the shows and being so kind. So from the foothills of the Colorado Rockies, I want to thank so many people: Julie Talbot, Bill May, Lisa Lyon, Tommy Danheiser, Dan Galani, Stephanie Smith, Mike Cosio, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ledesur, Tim Banal, Gina Salvati, Donna Walker on the phones, Greg Foster, Ryan Stacy, Chris Burles, Adam Thompson, Ian Punnett. We got to get to our weekenders: Ian Punnett, Lisa Garr, Richard Searett, George Knapp, and the star of our show, the nighttime emperor, George Norrie. That's the entire Coast to Coast AM team. As I know it, there's probably some more people in there that I've missed. But until we meet again, I'm Connie Willis. Keep watching the night skies and continue with me to seek out the strange and uncover the unknown. For Coast to Coast AM, I'm Connie Willis. Good night.